Okay, it's time to assemble the rest of the zipper panel. So what we'll do is we'll take our zipper panel that was completed, and then this will be the outside. We're going to sew it right side to right side here, and then this is our liner, and we'll sew this one right side of the fabric. Down, so we're going to sew this here and then fold it over and then top stitch it. So we'll hold it together with a couple of our binder clips. Okay, we'll give it about a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. Remember, you can sew right over the zipper chain when it's plastic. And then we'll reverse it. And then we'll top stitch it down. I think I'll add another row there. Okay. We're basically going to have to do the same thing here. Except it gets a little more tricky. So what I'll do is I'll just pre-fold it. So we have it about like that. There's some wrinkle in here, so I'll take that out now. making a pouch like this, there's almost always going to be a little bit of fiddling until you have your, unless you're making the same one over and over and over again and you have patterns that are perfect, which, you know, when you are making the same ones over and over again, you are going to have patterns that are perfect. Okay. So this can be a little tricky. Go over and stitch it one more time. So there's 2 lines. Okay, so we have our completed zipper panel. Got a red lining on the bottom. 2 zippers. Now to install this on our pouch, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it inside out here. And then we're going to find our center points. Center points based on this part here. You just put them together. And that allows us to find the center of our zipper panel. And we'll mark it with some chalk. Find the center of this one. Mark it also. And then find the center of the bottom. Okay, now that we've done that, we take our panels, front and back panels now. I shot a video of this, but it didn't turn out very well. Basically what I did was I put a red cross on the front and some red cross grain, just so I will know that it's a first aid pouch. And then on the back, which would be the inside of the pouch, I put the red lining on and then some elastic loops to put things in. Like this is sized for an Altoids tin and just a few other things. And then I put on the back panel more red lining and then more elastic loops for various things. Now when you make elastic loops, don't make them flush and tight with the fabric, because when you do that you put a lot of stress on this elastic, and this elastic doesn't last forever. So if you want it to last for a long time, give yourself a little slack in the loops. It still will hold just fine, but it gives you the ability to have your pouch last longer, because your elastic will last far longer that way. So make sure you don't just put it up super tight and flush. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to find our center points of our pouch, front and back. So we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll put it together. We'll find our center point, mark it. Do the same thing on this side. Find our center point and mark it. Okay. Now we're going to assemble the pouch. Now, usually you want your zipper cover to be on the back. That way, if your pouch is attached to something with powels and you go to open it, you don't have to go behind the flap to get into your pouch. You find your center marks. You can line them up. Then you start attaching the pouch together. And there'll be some adjustment you'll have to do to make it fit properly. There always is some adjusting that needs to be done. But as long as your centers are where you plan them, where they're supposed to be, the pouch should turn out just fine. And then after it's sewn, there'll be some trimming up to do too. Make a small adjustment to the length of the liner here. Seam rippers are always very important, because seams do need to be ripped and re-sewn. When you get to the point where you're making the same thing, many items of the same thing, you get less and less kind of prototype work you got to do. When you have to pick a seam or rip a seam, make sure you pull out all the threads. Or it'll look gross and disgusting. And I haven't had a single one of these that I've put together yet where I didn't have to readjust things as I go. Just kind of nature of the beast. And I'll give you a little hint towards the future of what I have planned here. So a backpack is basically just one of these pouches, big. So, and I've made made a few backpacks that way. I don't know, probably 4 or 5. Okay, so that's back down again. this thing put back together again. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and sew this on now. Okay. I'll trim these corners off kind of roundish, because I'm going to bind this with some gross grain webbing. That'll make it a lot easier. Okay. And this thing, right side out to see what it looks like. See if there's any mistakes we need to fix. Nope, looks pretty good. So that's the back. It's not perfect. I can see some mistakes, but it's good enough, especially for myself.